Namaskar. Hello and welcome to pGurus channel. I'm your host SreeIyer. Three good generals are here with us. Let's welcome them all. General Ravi Shankar, General Dushyant Singh and General Rajiv Narayanan. Namaskar and welcome to pGurus channel. And it is coming with simultaneously on gunner shot as well as strategic initiatives. Sir, a warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Long time.
We are back in full strength, at full strength. So, as always, I'd like General Ravi Shankar to lead off, and General Dushyant has a PowerPoint presentation. Viewers, we'll come to that right after General Ravi Shankar's opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And a very good evening to everyone. And India is interesting, a very interesting time, right? We've been talking of America and China and all that. But, I think this expansion into Brazil, Japan and all is good. Uh, why this? I mean, let's put it, there are two, three things which are happening. And why should India hold its nerve? That's the fundamental question we'll answer, and we'll then see what are the facets of this whole story. India is entering a complex period from now. That's the thing which has to be understood. The second part of this thing is that every situation hereafter will be new. There's no precedence, whether it's internal or external, right? Anything to do with this is going to be new. We are entering a heavy zone of uncertainty. Okay, and we must expect a certain amount of slowdown now, from now till things recovery takes place. So headwinds, and with that will come some uncertainty. See, I mean, unrest, internal unrest, and dissatisfaction. So there'll be internal factors at play. There'll be external factors at play, and you're going to deal with a whole lot of countries with in new avenues. Let's take USA. You're going to have a new relationship with USA. Good, bad, or ugly, we need to have one, and it's going to have. After all, uh, tariffs don't mean that you're not talking to them on call, or the defense dialogue is not going, or the battalion which is going to go to Alaska day after tomorrow is going, or it would have already left. So that's happening. The Quad, some talk is happening. 2+2 intersessional talks are happening. So it's not as if everything is broken. Trade has put a freeze on these relations, but something is happening. China, we are starting a new chapter with a prime minister going there, and trust at an all-time low. I mean, let me be very clear. It's not as if we don't trust them, they don't trust us also. And tomorrow morning, those of you want to join in tomorrow, and I'll give you perspectives from China, how much they trust us and don't trust us. And in this, there's a hope, the leadership, that look, we'll get something out of each other. It's a mutual necessity. Completely new. Okay. Completely new. Under normal conditions, we couldn't have dreamt of this 1 month back also. Right. Brazil and India have the same problems. They have problems, 50% tariffs from USA, and they also have problems from with China. Both don't want to de-dollarize. Both have similar stages of economic and everything growth, and they're complementary economies. This is something which I've explained earlier. There's need to find a new ground between India and Brazil. Both are big economies. Japan is the most promising nation, but we've always had problems with Japan in trade. Despite the fact that we have a Maruti model and Suzuki and a whole lot of Japanese cars run in India, our relationship with Japan has been so good. They've been stood by us, and all our trade is low, right? And there is a need to balance it. So, plus the fact, just take Japan. Japan has, as of today, bad relations with China, and very lukewarm relations with the USA, something similar to us. But we have a very good equation with Russia. Japan has a very bad equation with Russia. You know, Sakhalin Island, Kuril Islands, and all those, Vladivostok area. So these interconnections are there. Okay, Brazil, when I say Brazil has a surplus, trade surplus with China, probably one of the few countries which has a trade surplus with China. And, so how are you going to square all these off? Russia itself, look, at some point of time, my view, I mean, this is my view, I would like to this thing. What is the bone of contention between USA with our oil dependence on Russia? It's that element of oil which we are getting into the Nayara refinery and selling it abroad to USA and UK, whoever wants it, or Europe. That's fine. That is our sovereign right to do so. But is there a case? That's why I said internal issues matter. But is there a case that, look, these chaps, Ambani and Nayara, have made a lot of money? The rest of India has to pay for their profits. Is there a case to get them to subsidize this whole story? So you have to start looking at a lot of things anew. Then how are you going to create alternate markets? There are ideas on which we can talk of. Then in this, we also have to factor in countries like Philippines, which gives you huge scope. That's a new chapter. Remember, Philippines is China Pidit and not sure of USA. So there's a scope. That's why Marcos Jr. came last month or early this month. So there is a lot of scope there. Then, of course, the FTAs with Europe and EFTA and FTA with UK, they come in a third rung, the way I look at it. But all this put together takes us into that gray zone of our own. We are operating in our own gray zone. And how do you navigate this gray zone? Do you have a super advisory group? Do you have a good foreign affairs system? How do you manage your defense? Because inbuilt in this is how you can recover your economy is defense exports. Because defense exports can give you out of turn, windfall profits. And a lot of people want that. You have that trust. Then, of course, global south and all you can talk. So, how do you navigate this? If you do it as business as usual, the business ahead will be unusual. You'll not recover. If you do it, what are the kind of reforms you put in? Internal ease of doing business and this and that and a whole lot of things which I'll not get into. Then you have a scope to make this count. Is there a policy which has come out? There might be by the end of the month because I think the government is also feeling its way. And a lot will depend on, tomorrow our Prime Minister's visit to Japan and followed by China. And things will flesh out. Probably by the middle of next month, we should have a clarity of thought as to where are we heading. And that clarity has to be converted into action. And how that action will come out, we'll have to see. And that's why we have to hold our nerve. Because we don't know what's coming ahead. We know what we have left behind. And there's no turning back there. And day by day, USA is becoming more shrill. Today, two of his barking dogs, Scott Besant and Peter Navarro, have virtually, thrown the kitchen sink at India. Or we can keep answering them, but that only shows, that doesn't give us any joy. But whatever they have said only shows that, look, they're trying to push you into a corner. And they're trying to, bend your knee. And that's why I say we have to hold on now. I think this so much at this point of time. We'll take further issues up. Back to you, SreeIyer.
Thank you so much. And General Dushyant, sir, I invite you for your opening comments. And I know you have a PowerPoint presentation. Just let us know when to load it, sir, and we'll be happy to.
So I'll start straight away to cut short the time which we spend on our own discussion and get more questions from the audience. So
Yes,
we can start off with the tariff and with this slide, and as we go along, I'll express my views. So first of all, we all are aware that tariff war is taking place. We have been talking about it for the last, I think, over a month now, and it has been dissected and trisected. I don't know how many times. But the net lesson, I think, out of all the discussions is that we need to stand firm. And this is something which is coming from across the various experts. During my discussions today only, I had a discussion with a South Korean delegation. So what it implies is that there are people coming to India to explore the opportunity which has been now given away on plate by the Americans to India. So therefore, opportunities are knocking at our door. Whether they came for the defense sector, I'm sure there would be similar delegations coming into the various sectors. So one, I take it that opportunities are going to come across our ways. We have to seek them, and seek them early before this window is closed and we again get into a different loop altogether. So the overviews that I mean, this has been told from yesterday onwards. 50% tariffs have been now imposed on India. A written order has been passed on this particular issue based on the America First trade policy, which the Americans have been undertaking for the last few months. Affected countries, the most are, of course, Brazil, China, 30%, Japan, 15%, EU, 15%, with India and Brazil facing the highest rates. A lot has been said about Brazil and India's comparison by Shankar, so I won't go about in that. The analysis of this particular presentation of mine is to see as to how much of an effect we are going to have. And once we are clear about the effects, I think we can find the way ahead also. So accordingly, I will start with this very interesting news item which came today. I don't know how many of you have seen it, but the US, Helbin, the firm, has gone into an agreement quietly while the Alaska talks were going on for Sakhalin gas deal. And so therefore, what they are targeting is getting this gas into US as part of the deal. So the old embargo and the sanctions which were put on Russia are being quietly opened up. Is there a bigger game being played? We need to be careful. This particular news has also been backed by the fact that the Russians have opened up their firms to the Western world, in primarily US. So all those concerns or all those industries which had gone out of Russia are now making a beeline. Is this something new happening? We have to be careful about. So I thought, let me just share this particular news item. It has come from the Reuters. All of you can have a look at this and make your own conclusions. I feel things are going to become even more murkier as the time goes by. Then, as far as the economic impact goes, I mean, if you compare only the tariffs of the US and US has levied on India, it amounts to the total trade amounts to about 87 billion. All of you know about it. But the money at risk is 48 to 63.5 billion, which is at risk as if the tariffs are now kicked in from yesterday onwards. And the sectors which will be affected would be textiles and the apparels. 50% of it would get tariff. Then you have gems and jewelry and leather, footwear. We have spoken about it. But what is more important is that even the automobiles and the auto parts will get affected. So there is a fairly big effect on our economy. But in my next slide, you will come to know as to exactly what will be the overall impact on our economy. One thing which I want to mention here is about the defense sector. Now, in the defense sector, it's a mixed bag. General Shankar mentioned that certain talks were going on. 2+2 talks have just taken place. Although the outcomes have not been reflected, we'll have to wait for the PIB broadcast to see what exactly happened in that. But there are other under the carpet actions which are not so good between US and India. For example, the exercise which was to take place has been cancelled. That's not taking place. So these are big things which are quietly happening. So that means the matter has become even more serious. Jan Shankar said shrill. I would say they are now bordering some kind of a cold war between India and America as of today. So in a cold war, anybody who doesn't wilt will ultimately win, and the other side will wink. Let's see which side wins in this case. The exempted sectors are the face savers as far as we are concerned. Pharmaceuticals free of thing, electronics free of any tariffs, and the only thing is would be job losses in the other sectors which I just mentioned about textile, leather, marine products, etc. Especially the labor, that is something which will get affected. I believe the government has set aside some amount of funds to subsidize these sectors to offset the losses which are these sectors are going to take place, especially keeping in view the labor intensive sectors like textile and the marine products, etc. So therefore, I don't think the government is panicking. Government is very well within control and trying to minimize the overall damage. As you can see that the damage hit to the GDP would be about 0.2 to 0.8%, which will ultimately lead to a overall GDP growth rate between 6.5 to 6%, which will still be the fastest as far as the world is concerned. And it is said that in the overall scheme of things, in the short run, a little bit of hit, but in the long run, we will continue to grow the way we are growing. This narrative, once it starts kicking back into the Americans, I think they will have to wink first. Then, if you look at the other advantages as far as other countries are concerned, India, because of its 50% thing, will lose against Vietnam, Japan, EU 15%. So therefore, we'll have to seriously look at how we can how we can compete with these countries, especially Vietnam and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is very close to us, and in the apparel industry, I think they will seize this opportunity. Geopolitically, oil imports saving was about 17 billion. Jan Shankar says that this particular and this 17 billion is from the time. It's not as of last year. It is from the time when we started buying the oil from Russia. So this 17 billion, if you really calculate per year profit, is not much. Now, how do we explain this thing? I feel anybody who's doing business has to do business for profit. Now, whatever has to be, I think, compensated to the people of India would be in terms of the subsidies which will have to lay into the sectors where the tariffs are more. So, therefore, possibly this is the reason why we are not very that much concerned about the tariffs as of now in the short term. Defense ties, it is here that we are likely to have certain amount of effect if the threat which Trump has given, that I will lay five. See, first of all, we should not believe everything what Trump says. He says we will lay 500% tariff if India continues to buy equipment from Russia. So first was the oil, now it is the equipment. If I were to go by the Israeli way of thinking, they say if you threaten me, I believe you and I will take actions to counter you. So if they have threatened that they will apply 500% tariff, then we must believe them and look at alternate sources. And in this context, in my view, there are people who are willing to help us. Whether it is the French, whether it is the South Koreans, whether it is the Japanese. Japanese can also be turned around. I also interacted with the New Zealand delegation. I interacted with the Australian delegation. These guys are coming in their own ways quietly and trying to tap the opportunity which they might come across their way. So, so overall, I would say that the sectors like defense, oil, etc., will not in the short immediate run they may not give us sleepless nights, but in the long run we'll have to diversify. So therefore, if you look at the country-wise effects, US definitely as of now will gain some kind of advantage as per their statements what Mr. Trump has been saying. But in the long run, I feel it is going to hit them. Once the food products etc. become costlier in America, that is the time the common public will start rising up in a big way. Japan, they although they have got a lower tariff, but as Shankar referred to, Japan is also resisting the tariff. Brazil has always been supporting India, so in fact they are in fact talking in terms of cooperation. Whether the Chinese will play ball or not, I think we will get to see this in the SCO meet. What kind of chemistry comes out of the SCO meet will decide whether we are going to tackle US through a combined approach, or it will still be a country-wise headwind to the United States of America. Suffice it to say, I think there is an alignment now building up, which is going to be standing against the bullying of US. In fact, if you go by the Chinese statement that supported India, although we should not fully trust Chinese for what they have done in the past, as far as we are concerned. But a tactical adjustment, I think, is very much required, and we should undertake this tactical adjustment, use it to our advantage till we swim out of this particular crisis. Finally, what should India do? Diplomatic engagement must continue, because that is one window which should remain open. Market diversification, we are already undertaking actions. Jan Shankar has said FTA talks which are going on with EU, etc., Japan, UAE must continue. South Korea, they must continue. Strengthening of BRICS trade should also take place. In the domestic sector, export promotion missions have to be undertaken. I believe rupees 25,000 crore aid has been given to the MSMEs as subsidies and loans, especially in the sector which are going to be affected by the 50% tariff. So this is a huge amount, a huge incentive. I believe this has already been announced. So therefore, our export sectors must remain positive and uh, look at diversifying into the Swadeshi. We have a big market. Therefore, we should look at exploiting our own markets rather than depending too much on the external market. I would also like to add here that there was an expert, of course, he was also a military general. He said that while we have a very large domestic market, but our per capita expenditure is very less because of the capability to expend as an individual. So therefore, something has to be done to increase the internal income of our population, that is our public, Indian public, so that they can consume more and our economy then grows at the rates which we have been planning and thinking of, which is around 6.5 to 7%. I think that should take care of us. Energy diversification is a long-term process. It will take some time, but action must be taken on priority, whether it is getting oil from Middle East, Africa, uh, that only time will tell. I think efforts are on in this particular direction. Uh, then, as far as the broader implications are concerned, we stand a risk of a retaliatory tariff on US. If we do a retaliatory tariff, some people are supporting that we should apply tariffs on the electronics and the food items. This way, the Americans will be hurt. But then it might lead to a escalation in the war between the two countries. We have to debate whether we should put the tariff on these items which have been freed of any tariff by the Americans. BRICS and de-dollarization, in my view, I don't think there is enough support for a de-dollarization, but this has been put across as one of the response mechanisms against the tariff war. Global supply chains which have been disrupted, there we have to find alternate areas. In fact, today only I was telling the South Koreans that don't target big platforms, target the components, because the market in the big platforms, as far as defense is concerned, is almost gone. It is the wraparound technologies which are going to actually pay dividends to them. So they have taken this point home. I don't know how much they will act upon it. They are looking at only selling their, after the Vajra 9 success, they want to get into a similar big platform investment in India. That, to my mind, I think is not possible. Space is a sector where they can look at investment as far as India is concerned. So I'm saying that there is going to be some amount of cooperation coming to us, opportunities coming to us. New Zealanders are also looking at a similar thing. Users consumer market, I feel the higher Indian goods prices, cost of the US household is likely to increase by $1,270 to 1,619. SreeIyer will be able to give throw some light on it. Annually, this is the figure, risking inflation, which could be very, very high. In fact, 2018 it was 3,800 to 22,000 per household. That was the level which it had reached in 2018. What will happen if these things kick in into the US is something which we need to analyze in greater details. And if it happens, then it will be to our advantage. I think the US will blink first and not India. And finally, so therefore, I conclude my presentation by saying that we need to protect our the affected sectors, especially textiles, gents, and look at the opportunities which the world is giving it to us as of today in other sectors, in areas where the US has withdrawn its hand. And also, we need to be little firm. Sometimes it is good to be a little aggressive and put some counter tariffs. As such, we have been laying about 10 to 15% tariff in any case on the US. It was the US which was only levying about 2.2%. Although on paper it was 10%, but on ground it was about 2.2%. So, what my point is that it has to be a mixed approach, alignments, diplomacy, seeking new opportunities, and also shaking the Americans with a little bit of a counter tariffs also. Over to you. I stop here.
Thank you so much, General Dushyant Singh. One small mention about Sakhalin Islands. My impression was that once the war started with Ukraine, the United States, whichever company it was, withdrew its complete investment, and that investment was, and that was split, I thought, between India and Japan. Not true?
No.
Okay.
No.
So India still has about 30% or something.
There is a rumor, in fact. I didn't mention that rumor because the rumor is that actually they were continuing it and they were only making profit out of it. They were not even passing it on to the American public. But this is a rumor. I don't want to comment on it as a firm information. But this bit of entering back into the Russia is coming out to be true now. And there are number of indications. This seems to be a trade between, we will give you this, please agree to ceasefire.
General Rajiv, you wanted to add to that before you go to the main part.
The block that is given to us is different.
Okay.
Not that block.
That's the Arctic block.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So
General Rajiv, the Dhoni of the team. Now it's time to land some blows, lusty blows, I would say. We all know that the fulcrum in this whole thing is United States, around which all the other countries have to try and figure out how to basically deal with this. So I'm sure you have a different perspective from others. I'm looking forward to yours, sir. Over to you.
So first 2-3 points. One, that 25,000 crores which have been earmarked by the government is for a period of 10 years, which tells you that the government is of the opinion that it will take around that much of time for things to stabilize. And 2,530 crores, if my memory serves me right, is the one which has been allocated for this year. And RBI has already cleared all the rules under which it can be covered and given to the sectors where job is going to be an issue, so that jobs are not lost. Number two, you're already talking to 40 countries. 40 countries have approached you. You're already talking to 40 countries to diversify your exports. Number three, you don't have to tell anybody. Your pharma has already slowed down its exports to US. And the number one which has been slowed down is the one which is critical for their health service. 90% of critical medicine and health service depends on Indian pharma. 50% of US health service depends on pharma. That has quietly been slowed down. That there are issues and you've started slowing them down, which is hurting them. And the IT sector's new agreements, they increase the rates for US alone. Then, as you said, I will give you a different perspective. My understanding is slightly different. Why this whole war has started, tariff war, why has started a tariff war with everybody in the world? What exactly has been the US model? They are only consuming, and to get money, they don't produce anything. To get money, see, high-end tech which you sell, that doesn't give you any money. It is the medium and low tech which they don't make. It is the treasury bonds. Apart from the Federal Reserve, the number one with over $1 trillion is Japan. Number two, if you combine China, Hong Kong, and Macau, number two is China, Japan. So these countries have been giving back the dollar based on which the US has been spending. In short, The inflation was given out to the rest of the world, but the world has slowly started catching on. The quantum before COVID, the quantum of treasury bonds in circuit outside amounted to about 54%. Today it is 30%, and people say by the end of the year it will be 21%. That means this time when they issued that long treasury bonds, nobody came.
No one will buy.
Nobody came. That tells you why he is arm twisting to get stocks from his own companies. Money, liquidity is one of the biggest issues that he has, and that is why he is forcing people to come and all the trade deal, rest everything, tariff is different. I'll touch that. It is the money that he wants people to invest, set up plants, run the plants in US, and 90% of the profits will be taken by the US because he doesn't have money today. How does he was earlier managing his debt because people bought the treasury bond, so he could cover it up. Now he doesn't even have money if the treasury bond matures. Like if you take Japan, every year he has to pay about, I think, if I remember correctly, around 40 billion US dollars in interest for the bonds that he keeps there. Similar amount to China, similar amounts to his private companies who hold treasury bonds. Where will he get that kind of money? That, I feel, is the background to all this tariff war push. Number two, why has Japan pulled out of trade talks? Just 24 hours before their lead negotiator was to leave for US, it has been cancelled. Three things. Firstly, they signed at 10 and Trump increased it on his own to 15. And when the PM told in the diet that, okay, what is less than 15 will become 15, what is more than 15 will come down to 15, and we'll get paid the whatever over tariff we have given, Trump tells him, sorry, 15% is over and above the existing tariffs. It's not what they have said is clear. 15 means 15. If it is over, the deal is finished. If it is 550, we can't be giving you 90 million, 90% of the profit. I am running the company. I should also have more share of the profit. Unless there is clarity on these issues, we are not coming for trade agreement. He's in for a big shock. Why is he gunning for India? Everybody else bent and went to him. You didn't go. Primarily because what was shown by General Dushyant, there's hardly any hit on your GDP or your growth. Why should I worry? So he's trying to throw narratives with this paid media here to try and say that, oh, huge issue. No. Today, it has become an ego issue with Trump that here is a country. Before COVID, I told him no for Iran. He agreed. Made it zero. Post-COVID, now I've come with the second term. It doesn't realize that the world has changed. From the time he was there to now, the geopolitical strength, heft, everything has changed. And now you say no for Russia. Why will you agree? You will say no. The biggest issue today the world faces is the value of the dollar is going to decline. Because while he may have his agreement with the EU per se, the countries have automatically told Ursula von der Leyen, who the hell are you to sign an agreement? We didn't tell you to go there. We haven't even had a discussion amongst us that what should we agree to, and you've gone and signed off everything. Why the hell should I pay $550 billion to them? So there is going to be a big churning, like General Shankar had said, and readjustment, and we'll have to see which way you go. Brazil wants to be with you, Russia wants to be with you, China, of course, for his own ulterior motive, wants to be with you. Today you find Japan and South Korea coming to you, Philippines coming to you. It's a matter of concern. No wonder the people within US are also screaming that you're fast losing friends and you'll have nobody. Then what are you going to do? So while talks are going on, there is a been invited to the consulate here tomorrow. They are having a discussion on Indo-Pacific, and of course, China is the main topic. They've called, so I'm going. That's fine. You may do all that. But when you do that kind of churning, then you face issues. You have issues. So that is where the tariff war comes in. And there will be a churning and a realignment. In our earlier things I had mentioned in my slide deck, the various permutations, combinations, either that or some combination will come out. Because like water finds its own level, similarly in this churning, alignments will find their own level. You will start doing business with people you are comfortable with. And people will start looking at you that you are comfortable with. See, Japan has accepted he's going to invest 68 billion in India. As per the EFTA, they are going to invest 100 billion in India, which over 10 years they have said we are going to invest. The details are not yet clear in the EFTA agreement that what is the profit sharing. It must be a win-win situation for both sides, not skewed like what Trump wants, 90%. The worry essentially I feel is this, that the bonds and other things, it appears that the dollar is overvalued. And he's getting very scared that the dollar value they will have to slash the dollar value. Already I'm getting reports from the US that at least the clothing part they showed, though they tried to say it is because of India, obviously not. India is not the only supplier to USA, but all other countries who supply, you have increased the tariff rates. So they were showing a jacket which used to be $10.99 is now marked in Walmart at $14.99. Video shots, video recording, they were showing all the prices of garments that have been mapped up. So worry has started because now the cost of living will slightly go up. And India has, all the other countries have multiple options. I won't say only India. All the other countries who have come under the US pressure has plenty of options. Like India, like I said, 40 countries at the moment, talks are going on. The Prime Minister is going to Japan. I'm sure there are certain discussions because they have offered all this. They have in fact offered to buy all the garments. What you are made, they're ready to buy. But it's not possible. Primarily because when I'm making garments for USA, the sizes are different. The sizes are going to be very different. Yes. Sizes are. So if Russia says I'll take it, or Europe says, which they are saying they'll take it, I can sell it there. Those sizes will sell there. The American sizes, only a few will sell. The lower end ones will sell in Japan, not everybody. So talks are on. Yes. Hold your nerve and don't blink, don't flinch. As you get into more agreements and start diversifying, which will happen maybe by early next year, you may be into talks, you may sign your agreements this year and next year, and by the middle of next year, things start stabilizing. That is when he will start flinching, because by then the midterm elections will start kicking in. And if the Christmas becomes expensive, then the Republicans will have to do deep thinking that do they want to continue? Because there are many handles that they have found out now to take him out. Multiple handles. Rupert Murdoch. J.D. Vance is in talks with him. He had taken out a letter of his with Epstein. What he had written to Epstein. This chap has tried to put a case. J.D. Vance is in talks with him. Number two is the insider trading. August, when he did a taco on tariffs, they bought and they claim that his family have earned $3.4 billion. And the fourth, which is now doing the rounds, is his health. That he is not well, his face is bloated, that has started. But the first two are more than adequate, because Vance is pushing what the narrative is, I can't confirm it, is pushing to get his hands on the Epstein file. Now, if those things happen, so I'm sure Jared Kushner would also start talking to him that smell the coffee and start pulling back. I rest my case here.
Thank you so much, sir. And just wanted to add one thing for all the stuff here about tariffs. First, it was Lutnick, then it was the president himself, then Scott Bessent, and now you have Peter Navarro. Peter Navarro is a complete surprise to me because this man stood his ground and he was actually incarcerated for 6 months for standing his ground, insisting that the 2020 elections were rigged. He had put out a document, a PDF document, and he did not budge. And he thought Trump would reward him. He did not get anything, like, for example, a commerce secretary job. So maybe Peter Navarro is trying to work himself into the good books of Trump. Possibility. There's a big Brahaspati of this tariffs theory. That is Mr. Robert Lighthizer. I wonder if that quiver, that arrow also will come out, and he will also start saying, although I think by now, Indians are not really, listening to this part. They are hearing. Stuff is coming, stuff is going. Yeah, many of you are outraged by what Navarro said, but words are words. Look at deeds. That's the thing that we need to do. I think Modi has done a good management of how he is approaching the September meeting with Trump. When he goes to the UN General Assembly, he has already got a chance to figure out what Japan is thinking, what China is thinking, what Russia is thinking, what Brazil is thinking, and all these people. So India has a way to try and say, okay, this is how things are. This is where the shocks are. Let's see how we can alleviate. I think one of the things for that is the lowering of GST to just 2 slabs, 5% and 18%. I think that would give more money into the hands of common man. I'm expecting that will be given because I've been surprised before. So let's wait and see. Yes, sir. You wanted to say something?
One point was this purchase in your internal consumption. As per the economic survey report, last financial year, your internal consumption stood at 64.1% of your GDP. And 50%.
Yeah, that will not stop. That's a strength.
They are expecting that by the end of this financial year, it would have gone up to about 65%, if not more. And by the end of 5 years, it would have hit 70%.
Yeah, I mean,
for them, 50% of the population is the middle income group, and they're expecting over the next 5 years, if everything goes according to plan, for it to increase to 70%. So purchasing power wise, it is there. This is only going to speed it up. The moment you bring down the GST into 2 slabs, it is only going to increase the purchasing because the costs come down.
The only point I had the only point I had on this was that if you talk in terms of percentages, we are very good, but if you talk in terms of value, growth to the overall GDP will not be the same as we would have got it from an export oriented dollars coming in. So there is a little bit of a hit which we are going to take, but it's not that
definite.
It's not that hit is going to be putting us into. In fact, we have put counter tariffs on US in the past also.
Yeah.
So we should not be too.
We have not taken it out as yet, the counter tariffs.
Yes, so we should not be too hesitant about being a slightly offensive in our approach.
I think maybe I feel it will happen once you're very clear of all your deals with these 40 odd countries, and especially the bigger ones that we are discussing. After that, things may start fructifying of reverse.
Once you
can I put in a few words?
Yeah.
General Ravi Shankar, let's do this. Each one gets about 2 to 3 minutes to wrap up.
Yeah.
Then we have lots of questions. So just
we'll take them. Let's be patient. See, the point is, I'm going to focus internally. I mean, when I say internally, how India should hold its nerve and why. I'm not going to bother too much about what's happening in USA. Rajiv has covered it very well. 2 issues I'll take: gems and rice. Gems, you have a FTA with Dubai already. There is a 10% tariff. Already there's a movement on between India and Dubai. There's an understanding. We'll give you gems, you make it and send it from there, and our chaps will come there and make it. The gold market between India and Dubai is it's a seminal connect. This is all, a lot of Kathiawadi Muslims have gone and set up. If you go to Gold Souk in Dubai, you'll see this. So that channel is open. The gold, the gem people, they say, yeah, there will be some problems, but we'll get over it. This is from the spokesman. I heard that. Then similarly, the guy is, from rice. They say, okay, rice, prices will increase. We'll increase the price. We'll pay the thing. Because if rice isn't there, people have to eat. And America doesn't have any other option for Indian rice. Because Indians prefer Indian rice, no other rice. See, that's the thing. And then the next thing is he says, okay, even if you have problems with USA, in USA, once the rice goes up, it will not come down. The price will not come down. Long term, I see more profit for me. Even if the tariffs are gone out, once the price goes up, it never comes down. So I find this is from the spokesman of one of these federations. Is I see that I'm in good space. And then he says, look, we are talking to Philippines. And Philippines came and spoke recently. That's why I'm coming back to a country like Philippines. Every country will give you openings. He says, Philippines wants to buy rice from us because they are getting rice from China. They want to cut down rice from China. You see, you have to, that's what I said. These countries which we are talking of, each country will give you its own opportunity to do extra trade. You have to play what's the thing between the two, and then think. That's the tactics and strategy you have to put in. Then there's the issue of treasury bonds, which Narayanan put in. Very important. See, every country has to park its money in treasury bonds of some other country. That's how you hold dollars. You don't hold dollars in RBI. You have to hold it in some format, right? So if people are not buying treasury bonds in US, they'll buy somewhere else. So and if you are the fastest growing economy, people will invest in you. Just to give you an idea, Sam Altman, OpenAI, ChatGPT, he wants to come to India and invest here. He says the AI scene is bursting, so I want to come here. So he's going to come and invest here. He's coming here. He's not coming for a picnic or to play Marina Beach to have sundal. No, he's coming basically to invest, and his investment means you are jacking up a lot of things. Then of course this something which I read today. This shoes called New Balance NB. They're made in India today, and they're getting exported, irrespective of tariffs. Wherever, I don't know where they were made earlier, but now they started making here. So you see what is happening is incrementally people will come here, tariff or no tariff. And the reason is simple. The reason is very simple. People don't want to get stuck in China. Every other place, the volume which others can handle is finished. In scale, only India has the scale. And already people have started investing. If people have started investing here, they're not going to pull out. So they have to continue. Same thing with semiconductors. The momentum has gone. Japan is giving us semiconductor technology 1 generation old or 2 generations old. But that's okay for us because Japan can't make it. So they're saying, you do it. If that technology and those fabs start moving, those semiconductors are the bulk. You don't need extra thin semiconductors. You need 1 generation, 2 generation old. So there is a lot of things which are happening. Then these global capability centers. Are you going to stop them? There are 1,800 global capability centers in India. They're all American. That is one tail we have not twisted so far. Okay? The day you start twisting that tail, right? If push comes to shove, India has that in its hand. Then the American R&D will get hit. In an era where you look at the vulnerability, in an era where manufacturing is not there in USA, what is their, USB or USP, whatever you call it? That
Unique
is
sales
digital.
proposition.
Digital. Okay. Complete. Big five. Digital. Now, if that digital R&D is happening in India, And if that is going to come under the cosh, who's going to get hit? At some point of time, people will start looking beyond these 4, 5 trade related items. Okay. So I don't know whether USA has the legs today to go beyond a particular, thing. And so I think we should really hold our horses, not panic, diversify. And I think already we are doing hell of a lot and we shouldn't bother. Defense, like General Dushyant said, we will take a hit. I won't say hit, but it's a matter of a little time, an incident happening, and things will start, One point I want to make, because we have not spoken, that George Friedman's YouTube podcast, where he said India is irrelevant, this is a signal to China that we are going to patch up with China, and if there's a warning to Russia, all that. Complete nonsense. Let me tell you, complete nonsense. There was this great logic of America, which John Friedman now is coming out with. 1 week back when Trump and Putin met, till then, the story and the narrative coming out of USA was USA wants Russia on its side, and having a breakthrough with Russia will force Russia to go into the center so that China is isolated. That was the story till 1 week back. Suddenly, this great strategist comes out and says, no, India is expendable. If 140 billion people are expendable, then I think, well, USA can be where it wants. Right? I'm very clear about it. And the Chinese are not fools. They'll take their pound of flesh. If Chinese start taking their pound of flesh from USA, USA is sunk. Their universities all US universities are in danger today. There's not the people going. If you don't give H1B visas, no one will go. Who's interested in going? So I think my way of looking at it is 1 more month max I'll give. After that, you'll start seeing USA climb down. And what Rajiv said, December, Christmas time, if rates go up, then people are going to have a huge problem. So,
Turkey.
Turkey,
It will
correct.
become costly.
So things are going to change. I'm very confident. But in this change, something would have happened which we should cash in on that opportunity. We should cash in on that opportunity because you would have opened up new doors. The old doors will start opening. You're going to jump. I'm not going to look at this negatively. We will take a hit 2, 3 months, but I think we'll come out stronger. Yeah, this is what I
Thank you
had to
so
say.
much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And now, General Dushyant, your closing comments, please.
Yeah, I had already mentioned a few of them, but the important ones I would like to reiterate. The first one is that this is an era of difficult times, which throws up opportunities. And going by what signals I am getting more firsthand, opportunities are just knocking on the door. It is for us to open the door quickly and ride on these opportunities and diversify ourselves. It will stand us in good stead in the long run also, even if we improve our relations subsequently. The second issue which I want to highlight is that the oil savings, we need to use it mindfully and offset our losses which we might incur due to the tariffs. The third thing which I would like to highlight is that the narrative has to be driven home that the BRICS combined economy has crossed the G7 economy. This is something which I think if we continue to play on this particular narrative, the message will go faster on the other side to start behaving. The next issue is internal narrative. I feel that there would be now more agents and more deep states trying to destabilize our internal stability. We need to be prepared for that so that we do not get any kind of a counter movement taking place in our country. In our country, pyaj ka daam badhne se bhi something happens. So we have to be very careful as far as our internal strength goes. Otherwise, all our management will possibly go down the drain. The next thing is, read the American messaging very clearly. He seems to be freeing all those areas where he's vulnerable of the tariff: semiconductors, electronics, energy resources. Look at I mean, pharma, 44% of the overall, US imports of iPhone are going from India. 44%. That's huge for a country. It may not be very big, but it is huge for a country which is accept. That's why he is freed it of tariff. Of course, who's Tim Cook, or who went and gave him some
Tim Cook.
gifts at in his house.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I
Pure
mean,
gold holder.
yeah, that's okay. And the last point which I want to, and this is a caution point, is that we need to watch the Russia-US wheeling dealing very carefully and be prepared for any kind of hiccups which might take place. So somebody has to closely watch amongst our group only as to what is happening in this area. I have put some researchers on the task so that they look at the Russia US deals which are taking place on the Kuwait. There seems to be some amount of, okay, I will not talk about, I will not insist, I will not go in the talks with Putin and Zelensky. Suddenly, Lavrov says Zelensky has no authority to actually deal with that. There is something bigger cooking here, and let's wait and watch. That's all.
Thank you so much, sir. General Rajiv, your closing comments, please.
So we've got to also, I agree with all the points they have said, yes, but we also need to see how his Trump reacted after the European EU country heads had come to meet him. The manner in which he met them, I don't think they liked that, and they refused to buy his arms and give it to Ukraine. They've said no. That was one. So when they went back, and the biggest slap was to Ursula von der Leyen when he threw her out of the White House and said, out of the room, Oval Office, and said, I have something more to discuss with these people. You are not elected to their governments. By the way, Europeans elect the European Parliament. So that was something, and I was surprised at that he went and had a trade deal of EU with her, and he's throwing her out of the Oval Office. When they went back, he must have spoken to Zelensky. Zelensky must have spoken to him subsequently. Zelensky says, okay, he's creating a basket of funds for assistance to Ukraine, and he requested the EU countries to give, for starters, $1 billion. They were no takers. Third, for the first time, Germany, their chancellor, I was hearing him live when he was giving a talk in the Bundestag. With AI, they were giving their live immediate translation. He made 3 points, 180 degrees turn, sir. He's refused to give a single penny to Ukraine. He said, seal the borders. I don't want any illegals coming in, any refugees coming in. Germany was the one who started all this under Angela Merkel. And the third, what was known, he has openly said on the floor of Bundestag, sir, that for the past 3 years, Germany has been in recession. He says, this is our 3rd year of recession, so I have to put a stop to all this. No money to Ukraine, no siding with Ukraine, all their borders getting sealed. And by the way, the 4th point is he's increasing the force by going in for conscription. Orders for
Yeah, that's come out today.
Right, sir? Now, this is a total palti. Where will Trump have any face now? What peace is they talking about? Germany has said, take a walk, I am not giving any money. So there are big problems transatlantic that he has created. And like General Dushyant and General Shankar had mentioned, this is the window, grasp it before he does a taco. This is, you'll strengthen your strategic autonomy by spreading it out. No, in one of the channels I was saying, okay, if I'm selling 100 to China, some second country repackaging, I must give 20. But I will have many countries where the balance 80 can go. If I have, say, 20 countries, I have just to give them four each, which they can absorb. And 2 places, UK, I'm sure, will do the repackaging and send it. Dubai has a special, I'm forgetting the name, I think DMCC or DCCM is something is the place where they do the repackaging and do the things and send it to a third country. And that is how the gems and your diamonds and all will be going. So,
Thank you so much, sir. This Christmas, I think the shipments have already left the shores and landed in US, I think. So you will start seeing it perhaps at the, towards the end of the Christmas when... Sorry?
Costs would start going up.
Costs will start going up. Yes. We are seeing that already in
from the first lot to the last lot, there's going to be a lot of difference in costs.
Very true. General, shall we go for Q&A now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
First question from Ganesh Bhaktad to General Ravi Shankar. Your thoughts on Indian Army's interest in 12 Apache helicopter order? 2 minutes per answer, sir.
Yeah. The thoughts are there. Everything is there, but let's see how it goes. Everything will go into a temporary freeze at this point of time. So I'll not comment on it at this point of time. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Next question from Anil Chudasama. This is for General Dushyant. One thing I don't understand, Trump has increased India tariffs to 50%, but one other thing he said was because India is part of BRICS, so extra 10% tariffs. Does that mean that India has 60% tariffs?
No, not really. I think communication must be one of the reasons for this kind of calculation. It remains at 50%. The written order says 15%, 25% general tariff, and 25% for the Russian oil. As of
next one, please.
It's
General
only
Rajiv, this is for you.
That China has actually 100% extra tariff over all the existing tariffs. Any ships landing at US, they have to pay double the cost. And any item of theirs coming from third parties suspected by the Americans to be Chinese has to pay double the cost. So actually it's 100% more. And that is why in some places they talk of 145%, which is equated varies between 39 to 50. So they brought it somewhere in the middle and say 145% tariff.
This is for you, General Rajiv. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaste, the Bharat of today is different and stronger. Isn't Trump almost closing doors and not leaving a possibility for reconciliation later on? Bharat will be much stronger now. General Rajiv.
Magnet Ranga, sir, that's why I've said just because of one set of people, don't burn your bridges. So you're not burning your bridges. You're carrying on the talk. The G is still in talks with HAL, desperate to open the plant for 414 out here. So those talks go behind these people. Your Wall Street is investing. They are still investing in your IPOs. They have not quit you. So they also know that even the MNCs are wanting to come here essentially because the profits to be made are here. And even if he puts tariff, the cost, it will be cheaper than making it in USA. So much as may try, I don't think the door is going to be closed. It won't get closed. That is how your response has also been mature. You're not matching his histrionics.
Well, Canada climbed down. That looks worse, isn't it? Chaitanya Takle wants to know, this is for General Ravi Shankar. How will the trade war with USA affect the IT sector?
At this point of time, there's no effect. But as the days go by, depending on how things happen, some effect will be there. Whether it's positive or negative will depend on which way the other tariff negotiations go. And it's not, look, the way I look at it, it's tariffs are no more the issue. The issue is something else. The issue is that vanishing, cream which has been applied on the Nobel Prize and his personal problem with our Prime Minister. Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Next one, please. This is for General Rajiv Narayanan. I'll come back to you after this to General Dushyant Singh. Rajiv ji, Namaskaram to all the distinguished generals. Is America putting pressure on India by tariff to show China that India and America are at loggerheads and not colluding against China?
That's not the purpose of the tariff. I gave you my impression, the others have given you. doesn't make any difference that you're having tariffs. He's having tariffs with everybody. So we have always been saying Quad is not against China, which they wanted to make it as a local NATO. It doesn't make a difference. China is wanting to talk to you. You are ready to talk to him for transactional relations. No.
This is for you, General Dushyant. Amitesh wants to know your views on September 3rd grand event in China.
I think as of now, there is a certain amount of common enemy which has been found. So there will be a certain amount of congruence taking place. But we have to look at the finer prints. What are the concrete agreements which come out of the meet? That would be more important. And there are always disruptive factors here with Pakistan on the sidelines, because SCO also has Pakistan in it. There will be some frictions as well. So it would be a mixed bag only. I do not expect too many initiatives to come out of this.
Next
He's
one,
talking
General
of-
Ravi Shankar, this
he's
is for
talking
you.
of the- He's talking of
He's
the
talking the military parade.
military parade.
Military parade on
Putin-
3rd.
3rd September is
What?
the military parade victory over Japan.
Yeah.
And that
That's
Putin
okay.
is
Look,
attending.
Okay.
Putin is attending. A lot of people will attend. But the fact is, certain home truths will also come out. So I'm eagerly waiting for that
Who?
thing to come out.
I also want to see who takes the salute there.
Salute. Yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of
And
interesting things
while
that will come out.
Chinese Global Times are all talking 26 leaders of the world. Well, Putin is one. Rest are all their chammats who are coming.
I saw that,
So
but
we'll see.
are the Japanese also invited?
No, they are not.
No. That's against Japan.
I know
That's
that.
against Japan.
I know that. That's why I'm saying, are the Japanese also invited to rub it more?
And that is why India is also not
No,
even. I mean,
the best part is Chinese hardly fought against them.
No, I was
The
I was
Communist
reading
Party never fought against them. So what victory are they talking about?
I was
yeah,
reading
that's all.
I was reading somewhere that there is some amount of thaw which is taking place between Japan and China over a period of time. So the old enmities are not really that seriously being looked at. So maybe
But
they're
this
not.
will remove started, na?
I know, but let's see. Let's see.
Okay.
Next question. This is for General Ravi Shankar. Akash Krishan Tadani wants to know, in the Western world view in general and the USA in particular, Bharat is but a pawn. They are blindsided to where Bharat stands today, both as an economic and military power. Your views, General Ravi Shankar.
Look, this story started 2-3 days back. This chap George Friedman, gave his wonky theory sometime back, and he's been talking on a tangent always. But suddenly, in the past 2 days, it's come out in a web, podcast, and that a lot of people have seen, and now they're giving alternate theory to the whole thing. So just leave it at that. I think you should take it for the narrative which is being built. These are signals coming to us. You matter, you don't matter. So we should be patient with it. Yeah.
Next question to General Dushyant Singh. Lofi Subi wants to know, she's our old diplomats and some serving ambassadors are now clearly highlighting the hypocrisy of USA and saying that that's not how you do diplomacy. Is this a signal by the governor? I don't know what that
Signal.
means.
Signal.
By the government.
Signal.
Look, as of now, it is of my view also that the diplomacy has fallen down to its lowest as far as the US is concerned, especially the Trump and their advisors. Trump has taken a backseat now. He has given the task to the three lieutenants, Besant, Navarro, and Asset. So these are the three guys who are, propagating and talking in terms which not a diplomat's language. So we leave it at that. There's no signal here. It is just that Trump has got more voices to echo his sentiments.
Next one, please.
Asset has said today that if India thinks, I mean, these are his words, if India thinks that by not agreeing to the Trump's condition, Trump will go down, Trump will turn around. It is not going to happen. We are going to continue and press home sanctions. So this is going to be seen till I think month and a half or near the Christmas time. That is why we are also prepared for a long haul.
Next question. This is for General Rajiv Narayanan. One of two. US oil sanctions on India are a signal to Putin that the US can strangle the Russian economy. If the US can target a friend like India, that no other country that buys from Russia is exempt. 1 second. At the same time, the message to China is the US will not use India as a backdoor to attack China. Two birds, one stone. India is being used as a prop to signal to
This is George
Russia and
Friedman's
China.
story.
This is
Oh, okay,
a
okay.
this is a
Same.
foolish narrative. Can we go to the first part, sir? From there, I will take it on, sir.
Oh,
What
sorry,
is it?
I just
No,
I
one
just
of two.
deleted it. Yeah,
Oh, one of
sorry
two.
about that. We can pull it up. Just give us a second.
Yes.
Will you answer this question, General Rajiv, and I'll come back to
Has
that in
India
just a minute.
stopped buying? India has increased. So let's be very
Yeah.
clear what you have done. You have increased the number of you when he put sanctions on you for oil at 25% initially the tariff. You were buying 1.3 million barrels from Russians. Today you're buying 2 million. So does that mean there is any sanction? There is no sanction. India has not stopped. US has always wanted us to fight their
Right.
battle with Chinese, and we have said, sorry, we are not your pawn. So there is a reverse narrative trying to tell that you are a pawn. Nonsense. That is where they have got wrong totally. Has he strangled the Russian economy? Russia has been in sanctions since 22. He's growing faster than US. As per their own bank's assessment, Bank of America and the Federal Bank, they say the US growth is going to be somewhere between 0 to 1.8%. Thank you very much, which means stagflation or recession. Current tariff. Who's paying for the tariff? Have you ever thought, John Doe? It's the people of America who are going to pay because you import and you are increasing tariff on things that are being imported to USA, which you can't diversify at all. Okay, India may not send. Vietnam, you have charged him 19%. So there is at least a 20% jump. No, after all, that person who's selling it will also take commission. So this is a crap sort of a thing that John Friedman has taken it out. God knows what economy he likes. Target a friend that no other country buys from Russia is exempt. He himself is buying it. He himself has gone and done a deal in Alaska. He's going to tariff
Actual
himself.
errors.
Will he tariff himself?
Actual errors.
Yeah. There are no.
That's a
Friedman makes
narrative.
no point.
That's a narrative. That's about all.
It's CRAP logic. Thank you.
Next question, General Ravi Shankar, it's for you. Shritik Kothari wants to know, Peter Navarro is now taking the P star SS, calling it Modi's war and saying Indians are arrogant, casual racism by calling us Maharajas of tariff. Must we be so reticent to take this quietly?
We should just keep quiet, not respond to him. I said earlier, all these chaps are barking different languages. It's like four dogs barking in the street. You don't respond to a street dog, do you? So just be patient. Leave him. Okay. There are enough people trolling him and leave it at that. Government shouldn't react on this.
Next question. This is for General Dushyant. Thank you so much, Dinesh Allahabadia. Does India have a plan for world market capacity manufacturing, or still a far dream, or just rely on garment, spice, pharma, jewel, primary sector stuff?
Okay, one thing we need to understand is that our manufacturing sector has not grown. In fact, it has reduced to about 13%. So there is a reality in what you are trying to say. But at the same time, we are also now exploring into the high-tech sector like the semiconductors, prefab, defense industrial corridors. There are two additional corridors which are being announced, Bihar, Guwahati. So a sincere effort is now being made to ensure that India becomes a manufacturing hub. We are looking for new partners. So while there is some truth in what you are saying, but we are also now looking at transforming ourselves into a manufacturing giant. Other than that, if anything else has to be added, I think just Rajiv Narayanan has raised his hand.
2
Yes,
points.
sir.
The largest selling SUV in Japan is your Maruti Baleno and Brezza. This is point number one. Just to cancel your point that you're looking only in garment, spice, pharma, jewel, or primary
That is
sector.
there.
This is only the sector which US has tariffed.
Yes,
Others he has
automobiles.
not. Now, despite, and of course, automobiles he has done it. Now, despite there is a slowing down in manufacturing, for whatever be the word, if you just ask the statista to list out the top 10 manufacturing countries, you are at number 5, and as per them, you're by the end of this financial year, you will be number 4 in the world. First, of course, is China, USA because of the huge high-tech things that they do, then Japan, then Germany, then you. They feel that Germany is going down and you're going to go over Germany by the end of this financial year. So please keep that also in mind.
Yeah, but overall, there has been a reduction in our.
Overall, as per the this thing percentage, yes, it has reduced. But when you look at it globally, you are number 5 as far as manufacturing output is concerned.
And
Next question. This is to General Rajiv.
That is proportional to the GDPs of each country. So that's also one of the.
Sorry about that. I keep
Bangladesh can never take it over. They have no electricity. How is he going to stitch it? अपना वो पैर वाले से कराएगा या हाथ से चलाएगा? बिजली नहीं है. These are narratives that he'll take it from Bangladesh, he'll take it from there. There is no bijli in Bangladesh. My friend who used to run there, he has stopped giving it. Adani doesn't give it to them because they're not paying it. There is no current in there. How is he going to make it?
So the question was, let's go back to the question because we answered without seeing the question.
This is going to, like I told you, I gave you 2 places, Dubai and US, UK. These chaps are going to buy it, repackage it, and send it to USA. You make your money, he's going to make money.
USA, Russia, wherever. Russia has agreed to take all our garments here. Very.
Yes. Japan has agreed to take all your. Russia is ready to take all the pharma. Then he's going to repackage and send it to USA. Everybody else is looking how to make business through the tariff that he has put on you.
It will help the rupee problem. It will help the rupee problem.
Yes. True. Saurabh Sabharwal wants to know, this is for General Ravi Shankar. By imposing tariff upon India, US wants to threaten Russians to signal. Okay, this is the same stuff that.
Same question.
We'll skip it. Yeah. Nilbel Cherian, again, General Ravi Shankar. Do you think that when Trump succeeds in removing the tentacles of the cabal, his tariff war with the world will end? He's nearly there. Should she worry, or so should we worry?
I don't think anything will happen. Trump is up a gum tree, right? And it will take a lot of effort to get off it. He can't get off it. I don't think they have a solution. Sooner or later, you see, today, finally, if you see Scott Bessent, he said somewhere we will get around to it. He's already given that first signal why we have to come to a deal. They can't survive without a deal. Okay, and, so we'll see how it happens.
And even Navarro today, in the end, he mentioned, I'm amazed why EU is buying oil from Russia.
Russia.
Short of telling that why we are also buying some energy from Russia, he today mentioned why China is buying oil from Russia. So I think they are trying to give a signal now that there are so many people inside this can of worms that it will be easy for them to withdraw the tariffs.
The only point I'll make is the tentacles of the cabal run too deep. You chop off the head. You are making this statement because he has made a statement to arrest George Soros and his son. You think you take one head out, it will happen. This is the Hydra.
I have my doubts even on that. Chandu Rajan, question for you, General Dushyant. Is there a talk, and there is talk that one BJP MP along with 37 others are planning on rioting against Modi? Have you heard anything of such?
I won't like to comment on this. I have not heard it also, and I would leave politics out of the discussion today.
Absolutely. Understood. Sir, a thought provocateur, thank you so much. Need to launch courses like Taconomics, Taco Logic.
Good. It is thought provocative.
Poetic justice here. Last question comes to the third panelist, so everything is fine. All of us got equal stuff. Last question, Venkatesh, thank you so much. This is for General Rajiv. Is there a possibility that Saudis involved in this, as their share of oil exports to India have come down drastically in the last 3 years?
That's a good
Has
question.
it affected their economy? It's not that his overall share in the global export has reduced. It's still there. If I have reduced because from I think around 2013, 14 onward, you started to diversify your procurement
There
of
was a
oil.
rebalancing which was carried out.
Yeah. So you started rebalancing that you should not have dependencies only on one place. If something happens, then you'll be up a country. But if I have reduced, somebody else has bought it. He's selling it, no?
True,
His
true.
economy is not taken a hit.
In any case, we still buy oil from Middle East. ऐसा नहीं है कि
Yes, yes. You're buying from, he used to be the number one. He is not the number one today. That's okay.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. What a session. Viewers, will be back again next Thursday, same time, same set of generals. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.